Hi, I'm going to read this story called Franklin and the Hero. Franklin could count by twos and tie his shoes. He could say the alphabet without stopping, and he was learning how to read. His favorite books were about Dinah-Roo, the kangaroo superhero. Franklin wanted to be just like Dinah-Roo. One day, Franklin and Snell were reading Dinah-Roo to the rescue. "Look, Snell," cried Franklin. "Dinah-Roo pulls Koala out of the quicksand with one mighty tug." "Dinah-Roo's the best," Snell sighed happily. Franklin agreed. "I want to be as strong as she is." "I want to be as fast," said Snell. Franklin had an idea. "Let's play superheroes," he suggested. "I'm Turtle-Roo, strong enough to lift a truck." "And I'm Dinah Snell," announced Snell, faster than a speeding train. "Together we'll keep the world safe," declared Franklin. "Just like Dinah-Roo," added Snell. Turtle-Roo and Dino Snell ran outside. They saved their snow fort from a terrible snow monster over and over again. Hours later, Franklin's mother called to them. "Turtle-Roo, Dino Snell, come inside. I have a big surprise." When the superheroes were warm and dry, Franklin's mother told them the good news. "Dinah-Roo will be autographing her new book at Mr. Heron's bookstore tomorrow morning," she said. "Do you know anyone who would like to go?" Franklin and Snell jumped up and down and gave each other the Dinah-Roo salute. For the rest of the afternoon, Franklin and Snell talked about Dinah-Roo. They reread all Dinah-Roo's adventures and made their plans for the next day. They were both so excited, and they could hardly eat their dinner or fall asleep that night. Early in the morning, Franklin and Snell set off for the bookstore. As they rounded a bend in the path, they saw Mrs. Muskrat searching through the snow. "I dropped my house key," she explained, "and now I'm locked out. Can you help me find it?" Franklin looked at Snell. "But," Snell began. "Come on, Snell," Franklin decided. "This shouldn't take two superheroes long at all." Franklin was wrong. They dug and dug without finding the key. "We may not find it until the snow melts," Mrs. Muskrat said finally. "It's time to call off the search." Franklin and Snell breathed sighs of relief and turned to go. "If you could pile some snow under the window," continued Mrs. Muskrat, "maybe we could get in that way." "But, Mrs. Muskrat," Franklin said, then stopped. Mrs. Muskrat was shivering. So Franklin huffed and puffed and rolled a huge snowball to the kitchen window. He climbed on top and pushed and shoved until the window opened just enough for Snell to crawl through. Up and over the ledge went Snell, across the counter, down the wall, over the floor, and up the door. Finally, Snell turned the door handle. "Hooray!" shouted Franklin. "This calls for hot chocolate and cake," declared Mrs. Muskrat. Franklin and Snell looked at the kitchen clock. "Thank you, Mrs. Muskrat," said Franklin, "but you see," and he finally told her all about Dinah-Roo. "Well, off you go!" exclaimed Mrs. Muskrat. "I can thank both of you properly another time." Franklin and Snell hurried to town and rushed into the bookstore, but no one was there. They had missed Dinah-Roo. Franklin's shoulders slumped and Snell started to cry. As they turned to go, Mr. Heron came out of the back room. "We've been waiting for you," he said with a smile. Mr. Heron stepped aside, and there was Dinah-Roo. Franklin and Snell gasped in amazement. "I couldn't leave until I met two real-life heroes," Dinah-Roo announced. Franklin and Snell were confused. "Mrs. Muskrat phoned and told us what had happened," explained Mr. Heron. "You are both heroes to her." "But we were just pretending to be heroes," said Franklin. "Real heroes are super fast and super strong." "Sometimes they are," agreed Dinah-Roo, "but there are other ways to be a hero." Franklin thought for a moment, then he smiled. "I never knew that helping someone can make you a hero," he said. Dinah-Roo gave both Franklin and Snell a copy of her new book, Dinah-Roo's Jungle Adventure. Inside each was dedication from Dinah-Roo. Franklin read his aloud. "To Franklin, my heroic friend." Franklin and Snell gave Dinah-Roo a big hug, and Mr. Heron took everyone's picture. Later that night, when Snell's family had left and Mrs. Muskrat's cake was all gone, Franklin went to bed with his new book and a flashlight. He planned to read the whole story, but soon he was sound asleep. Even superheroes need their rest. The end. Thank you.